Alright, so we're back with another interview, and in this interview we have Gary Rosenzweig from MacMost.com. Just before I let you know and hoard you with all the information, I'm going to let Gary introduce himself for all of his fans.
Hi, I'm Gary from MacMost.com, and I do daily video tutorials for Mac and Apple users. You can find me on YouTube at MacMostVideo.
I'm going to try to keep this intro as short as possible. First of all, remember to subscribe to all my channels. Remember to follow and subscribe to Gary's channels. Go check out all the links in the description. My descriptions are always the best. If you're new to my channel, then click on the logo. It's just above the description. You can click on it and you can see all the different types of videos that I make. I mainly make educational videos for new YouTubers, but if you're not interested in that, then that's fine. You don't have to subscribe. I'm forcing you to subscribe, but hey, if you subscribe, then that would be a pleasure. Back to the interview. So the reason I chose Gary for my third interview is because I saw that, hey, I use a Mac and we need someone from the someone who's got expertise in the Mac community, and that's why we have Gary Rosenzweig. So I don't want to waste any more time. If you're a Gary fan, then that's great. Stick around till the end because there's going to be some hard-hitting questions at the end and you don't want to miss it. Question number one. Gary, I've seen that you uploaded for over 13 years. How do you avoid burnout? How do you prevent that feeling of I quit?
So my channel has been going on for more than 13 years. How do I avoid burnout? Well, the important thing is to have a topic that you won't burn out on. I always was interested in computers. I have a computer science degree. I've been working with computers my whole life, talking about them. And I used to talk about Apple and Mac products all the time. So I just started doing videos on it. So I knew that I had this interest that would allow me to keep making videos all the time. Still, it's a bit of a question. You don't know until you actually do it. But once you find that niche that allows you to just keep going, then it's pretty easy to actually do them. One trick you can do, though, if you are experiencing burnout, is to widen your topic a bit. So, for instance, if you have a narrow topic and you find you have a hard time doing videos, weekly or twice a week or however often it is, to expand that a little bit. What other topics are related to that? And expand that so it's easier for you to come up with ideas and to keep everything fresh.
All right, so expand your topics or niche, whatever you need to do. Do not get burnt out. Do not quit. If you're stuck in a particular niche, then broaden it, just like Gary said. And that was absolutely fantastic, just as I always say, fantastic advice. If you're a small YouTuber and you're not taking notes, then what the hell are you doing? Go take your pen and go take your paper and write all these down. These are going to be, Gary's about to drop some very, very important golden nuggets, so you don't want to miss them. All right, so question number two. Have you ever engaged in YouTube drama? What would be your advice for new YouTubers looking forward to making drama or at least controversy in your Apple or Mac community? Are you for or against it?
Have I ever engaged in YouTube drama? Well, no, because my channel really isn't dramatic. It's just practical stuff, tutorials, teaching people how to do things and all that. I would imagine that's something more in, lifestyle blogging, that kind of thing. And, I don't pay too much attention to that. I suppose it can be fun if it's done in a fun way, right? If it's not taken too seriously. Fun rivalries with other video bloggers and such. But I don't think anybody should really take that very seriously.
There you go, another golden nugget. If you want to have fun rivalries, then that's fine. But if you don't, then don't do it. If it's all friendly, then that's fine. I think if it gets too personal, it's a bit too much. And yeah, I really don't have much to say because I want to go to question number three. What is the toughest or hardest or saddest moment in your YouTube journey? How did you cope with it? What would be your advice for small YouTubers who are going through something similar?
What was my toughest or saddest, most difficult part of being a YouTuber? Well, I really haven't had that many bad things happen to me. I think early on, years ago, the comments were pretty bad. A lot of spam, a lot of junk comments. And for a long time, I turned off comments just to deal with that. My feeling was that maybe I should stop uploading to YouTube. I was sending my videos over a podcast. I had them on my own website, and maybe YouTube wasn't worth it at the time. And my eventual conclusion to the whole thing was, well, the comments were really bothering me. So I'm just going to continue to upload to YouTube, but just turn the comments off for a while. So that was better than turning off YouTube altogether. I don't think I would do that today. because comments are really important and comment filtering is a little bit better. So, I would say maybe just try to ignore the comments. If a comment or something is really bugging you or whatever, you can remove it. It's your channel. Remove the comment and don't look back. It's kind of hard to do, but after you do it a few times, it gets a little bit better. If you really feel the need to respond to a comment, respond to it, but don't send it. Just wait and then delete it, and then delete the original comment, and then move on. You don't owe anybody a response if it's a rude comment in some way.
All right, so far, everyone I've interviewed, they've all said that it's the negative comments. And I can tell you now, since I'm starting to get a bit more popular, I've seen some very harsh negative comments. And if you don't like them, then you don't have to like them. People criticize you for not taking negative comments like that and calling you a snowflake. You're not a snowflake just because you don't like certain comments. I would personally not recommend turning off your comments, because that's also getting rid of all the positive ones. Just keep your positive comments and just get rid of the negative comments. And yeah, that was a fantastic answer by Gary. The fourth question though is, what is the happiest or funniest or best moment in your YouTube journey? So basically it's the opposite question. What did it make you feel? Could you ever revisit or relive those moments? And how would you describe that thing?
So what's my happiest or most fun moment as a YouTuber? Well, I don't really know if I have a single moment, right? Because since my channel has grown so slowly over the years, just being, a useful set of video tutorials and not really, having some of the drama of other YouTube channels, there really hasn't been like a single moment or single thing that's really done anything. I just enjoy every day when I get thank yous from people. I love getting thank yous, or somebody just telling me that they've used something I've taught them or it helped them in some way. And I get those every day, usually every week, and I just love getting those. I don't know if I could keep making videos as often as I do for as long as I've done without having those little nice gestures of politeness that people give me when they find something I do useful.
Although you didn't have a particular moment in your life, you still have those positive comments. Basically, for you, it was the positive comments. And I think for me as well, it was the positive comments, but although I don't even get that many comments. If you're a subscriber or you're a new fan, please comment down below. I don't even get that many comments. The fifth question, though, is why this particular niche? Why not anything else? And would you change your genre of videos in the future?
So why did I choose my particular niche, being Mac tutorials, and will I stick with it or will I ever change? Originally I actually had a whole bunch of different things that I did. I had a few employees working for me, and we were creating games. We were a game development company creating web-based games. And I thought videos would kind of fit in with that really well. Doing video podcasts, YouTube had just started, and we actually created a series of different things. So there were different channels, not necessarily on YouTube. They were kind of podcasts and things at our own site. But we had scripted comedies, we had improv comedies, we had one on books and literature, we had one on podcasting itself, like a news program about podcasting. We had all these different ideas, and one of those was MacMost. And that just came out of the idea that we all use Macs. We all talked about Macs all the time. It would be easy for us to talk about what's new in the Apple world because we did that anyway. It was like our lunchtime banter. So we started doing a show called MacMost, which was more of a news program, and I started doing tutorials in addition to that. But the tutorials really did well, so eventually everything just became tutorials. All those other shows kind of fell by the wayside, and all the efforts went into just MacMost. And eventually I started just doing it on my own and continued it, and that's been 13 years of doing that. I don't think I'd ever change what MacMost does. Like, I've already expanded a little bit. Every once in a while I talk about iPhone or iPad or Apple Watch or any topic that's kind of related to Macs. But, MacMost is a dedicated YouTube channel, definitely. I wouldn't rule out doing something else at some point in the future, talking about some other thing I like to talk about on another channel. But MacMost is just about Macs.
I know the Gary fans really like that. You basically juggled multiple shows together, and only one of them worked, which was MacMost, and you focused on that. And that was, I think, that was how I started off as well. You know, I juggled with so many different topics, and I came to one, and I was like, okay, this is the particular one that I want to go with, which was YouTube education. I broadened my niche even more, which was basic YouTube education. And yeah, so I say we both have a very similar journey on YouTube. I know the answer was pretty long though. The Gary fans, I know they'll love it. The MacMost fans. Now, question number 6: who did you take your inspiration from? Is it one or multiple people? How do you think their work inspired your work?
So who do I take my inspiration from? Who inspired me? I've been doing this for a long time, so I have to think back 13 years. And when I got started, there were a couple of different people. I was watching lots of the early vloggers and video podcasters and YouTubers at the time, a totally different group than today. And I saw a lot of people. There was Zay Frank, who did a show every day, and he did it by basically recording into his Mac and then very quickly slicing the video up and editing it together. Nothing surprising. A lot of people do that today, but back then it was kind of a unique way to make videos, and I thought I could do that, and that's kind of what I did, except his thing was humor and kind of observational comedy, and mine was tutorials. So I just did mine in that way. Kevin Rose from Dig had a show where he talked about tech and all sorts of stuff, and those guys, they kind of inspire me as like, oh, I could just be like a normal guy and talk about stuff, because at the time a lot of shows were, more attractive people. And, I thought, well, I'm not somebody that should be the host of a video show. But after I saw just a lot of regular everyday people doing video shows like that, I thought, sure, I could do it too. So, those early podcasters were kind of my inspiration. There were a whole bunch of them.
Oh, okay. So podcasts, or early podcasters, like old podcasts is what I mean. Kevin Rose. So I'll check him out. I'll see if I can get inspired a bit by him. I think he's related to Tim Ferriss. Question 7: what are the videos that you made on your channel are you the most proud of?
So which videos that I've made over the years have I been the most proud of? Well, there's so many. I've done 2,300 videos at this point, so I don't really remember any specific ones. I know that some of the best videos I've done have been the ones that I've resisted doing for a long time. Like, they're somewhat controversial. Like maybe, somebody asked me, well, should I use cleaner products on my Mac, cleaning out software, things like that. And I thought, oh, if I do a video on this, there's going to be some people that say, good advice, and other people that are going to say, I disagree with you. And, so I avoid doing videos like that. But then every once in a while I would think, I get asked this question enough, I should really do it. And usually I've thought about it enough that when I do it, it's a decent video, and I'm always glad that I did. So hitting topics like that, like do you need antivirus software, or, things like that, I kind of put off doing those types of videos thinking maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. And then when I do them, I really like the end result.
For you, it was the videos that you basically procrastinated a lot on. I think for me it was a really controversial video on how to get paid apps for free. I don't think it works anymore. It was way back in 2018. That was a golden nugget dropped by Gary right there. Thank you, Gary, for that amazing advice. The fans will for sure love it. Now, the complete opposite question, which is question number 8. Which video are you the least proud of? What I mean by that is, which videos do you think are the worst production of your content?
So which videos am I the least proud of? Well, for a while there, I stopped putting myself in the videos. And I just had tutorials, and it kind of took a lot of my personality out of it. And I thought, well, people don't need to see me for the tutorials. The information gets across. But, I didn't like doing that. Part of this is me communicating with other people, and I think it's really important for me to put my face there. I sometimes actually get people saying, oh, why do you bother to put your face in there? There's your tutorials. Nobody needs to see you. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm not just throwing the stuff out there. And I want to establish, some sort of communication between people. I want people to ask me a question, trust the things I'm saying and all that. So that period somewhere in the middle, years ago, where maybe for 6 months I stopped putting myself in the videos, those are the ones definitely I dislike the most.
All right, so although you told a story right there, I think the viewers and fans can take some advice from that, which is keep your individuality. If your personality works, then it works. That's why big YouTubers like Mr. Beast and PewDiePie are so popular. Not because they make the perfect descriptions or thumbnails, and they do, but people know them for their personalities and their unique video ideas. That nugget of information, just perfect. And I know that the fans are loving this interview. And hey, if you're actually loving this interview, then drop a like, show Gary some love. All right, so question number 9. For someone that's starting out, many people encourage them to focus on the quantity more than the quality because then they can produce more videos. Do you agree with that notion? Should YouTubers start off with quality or quantity? Like, what's your thoughts?
So some people starting out, wonder should they, focus on quality or quantity or any of that. And I definitely fall into the camp, like most experienced YouTubers, saying that it's not something you should focus on. Quality is something that will come later. It's most important to start, to get things going. So quantity versus quality, I would say that quantity is most important, but not necessarily quantity. Just get going. Right? Don't try to make your first video perfect because it won't be. It shouldn't be. And the best way to get better is to make videos. So you've got to start making videos. No YouTuber thinks that their first videos were that great, right? So join the club. Just make your first video. Improve as you go. Watch people or have people watch you get better as you go along. There's really no better way to learn all the different techniques than to actually make videos. And there's no substitute for actually making them and posting them. If you just make them and throw them away, it doesn't work. You have to make them, post them, get feedback, think about what you did, try to improve. I always try to improve. I've been doing this for 13 years. I'm still trying to improve. The microphone I'm using right now, I got that 2 weeks ago. It's a better microphone than what I had before. Just about every month that goes by, every year that goes by, I'm improving something. Either my technique, the way I edit the videos, camera stuff, lighting. I'm just constantly working to improve things. So I'm nowhere near done. I'm going to continue improving and all of that. But don't let quality get in the way of starting. Start with your phone. Start with a cheap little camera. Start with the camera built into your laptop, and get going. Because no matter how good you are or bad you are, it doesn't make any difference if you don't post anything. Just post. Be genuine, be yourself, and get started.
Join the club. Everyone has a very, very terrible first video. But I would personally say is that focus on the quality, but also on the quantity. But what Gary is trying to say is that focus on making videos. Don't focus on what everyone else is saying. Just make videos. Did you like the video? If you didn't, then drop a like and subscribe as well. Because now we're about to hit with the big 10th question, the the funniest question here, although I don't think it would be that useful, which is question number X. Imagine one day, Gary, you woke up and you had 1 billion subscribers. What would you do?
So this last question is, if I woke up and had 1 billion YouTube followers, what would I do? Well, that's a lot of YouTube followers. I suppose first and foremost, I wouldn't change very much because if 1 billion people like what I'm doing, why would I change it? I'm going to keep doing the thing that 1 billion people really like. So I would try to keep MacMost pretty much doing the same thing. I would probably really up my game in terms of quality. Like I said, I try to improve things all the time. Having a lot of people watching my channel means there'll be a lot of income coming in, which means that I could really do things like build out a nice studio, maybe get experts to help me with the editing and stuff like that. So I would improve what I had, but I wouldn't change what I had. I would keep it going. If you've got something good going and people like it, give them more of it, make it better, but don't change it and do something different.
Basically, Gary was trying to say that if he woke up with 1 billion subscribers, he would keep doing what he had done before, because you see, many people, they let fame get in their way, and who knows? If I got 1 billion, I would probably retire. I think that's a lot of subscribers, and that's a lot of money. So I think I would retire because I think fame would destroy me. But for Gary, he's such a humble man. He wouldn't let the fame get in his way. And yeah, that was it for the interview. 10 questions, 10 amazing questions. I hope everyone liked it. And if you did like it, then like the video. And if you're a Gary fan and you're watching, and this is your first video in my channel, then just click on my logo. You'll see all my videos, and make sure you see the most recent one, because the recent ones are the ones that I put the most effort in it. And I just want to wrap up this interview, and I will let Gary himself wrap it up.
So you could find everything about MacMost at MacMost.com, including links to everything. The YouTube channel is MacMostVideo. If you have a question about using Macs and stuff, there's a forum at MacMost.com. At the top, click on Q&A forum. You can ask me a question. There's also a weekly newsletter at the top of MacMost.com. You subscribe to that. It's just free, and every Thursday morning you get an email with my 5 new videos of the week. Of course, you can also follow me on Twitter at ROSENZ or at MacMost. And I also have other, Instagram, TikTok, and all that. But you can find all of that stuff at MacMost.com. Thanks.
So you heard him, folks. Go visit MacMost.com and subscribe to this channel. And yeah, peace out.